It's your girl Varsi. Welcome to In the Shack, where we talk about all things Junkanoo.
And I'm Michael Pateman, and we are here at the Rocker Shack. Well, kind of. We're outside the Rocker Shack today, and I'm going to blame my girl Varsi for this one. We'll get into that a little bit later, but we have a special guest with us today. We'll let him introduce himself.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. It's Junkanoo time again. And I'm proud to be here. Tyronne Higgs, co-leader, former leader of the Superstar Rockers. I've been rushing Junkanoo now for many, many years. I stopped counting. I stopped counting. It's going to be a disservice to myself if I put a number.
Put a number on that, man.
Because it's much more than what the years are. But nevertheless, I'm here. I'm excited to be here, and I'm with the show. I see you got some good product here.
Most definitely. So today's podcast, as always, is sponsored by Maravilla Rum, and as always, we're drinking some Sans products. Today we're drinking Sans Light. Thank you, Sans.
So let's jump in. You do your introduction, and you, first of all.
Watch it now.
Watch
it now. I'm loaded. I'm versatile.
No, but we cool.
Very tracksuit.
Oh, yes.
So today I am wearing the shirt of the Rockers, and this is going to be my new tradition. So groups, when we come to you, give me a shirt. I'll wear your shirts.
Well, I'm neutral.
We are, you're not neutral. That's why we're outside today. So let's talk about that a little bit. We're outside today, not in the shack like we normally are. We're outside.
Hey, remember now, the shack is just more than a building. The shack is who we are.
Right.
Who we are. We are Junkanoo.
I just going to say, in the words of Ali Ferguson, I am a Junkanoo that graduated from the University of Superstar Rockets. Professor, as a matter of fact.
So I'm going to correct you right there. That statement is not from Ali and Nash Ferguson. That statement is from our first Prime Minister.
Oh boy, the chopsy just done. Start.
So Lyndon Pinland said it at the opening of the archives exhibit. He said, I don't quote me the exact words, but
I know for a fact.
She gives him credit for that statement. She will tell you that.
Thank you very much.
The statement comes from him.
I knew the first time I heard it came from her.
She says that he said it at the opening of the archives exhibit on Junkanoo. Now, there's a little bit of a debate because also the Junkanoo Commandos claim the term "I am Junkanoo, we are Junkanoo." But anyway, that's not the point. That's not the point of today's show.
Here we go.
Y'all can't be fighting you wearing rocket shirt, though.
No, we're not.
Y'all is friends.
History will always be here.
Right.
And we can't knock it.
Yeah. So back to where I was going while she was thinking about our question. Today we're outside your shack, and you made the illusion that it's Junkanoo season. So let's talk a little bit about the secrecy of Junkanoo. How you guys will allow me to walk into your shack,
a serious
even
one.
if I wasn't wearing my rocker shirt today, but you won't let my co-host over there.
Yeah,
it's a serious one.
She was always an outsider, so we got to keep her on the outside.
Lord.
Keep her on the outside because she's an outsider.
So you didn't want me to see the culture of the shack?
You'll see it on parade day.
You see it. We see it.
It's all right.
Right now, you don't have your band on.
Oh.
Gotta get a band to come inside.
Gotta get the bond. You know what he say?
And you ain't got that band.
I ain't got no band on.
You don't have that band on, so you're not invited at this time. Members only.
But this is what I want to know, right? So you gave us a briefing. Will you give me a briefing? Where did it derive from? Like, where did you learn the Junkanoo culture?
Well, my involvement came when I was 13 years old, going at Prince William High.
Oh, you're a boy.
And
I know he's gonna say it.
Fred Papa Smith was our PE teacher, and he's one of the legends of the superstar. I mean, of the Shell Saxon superstars.
Okay.
And as a little boy, he carried us around during Christmas time. After practicing soccer and stuff like that, he would take us to the shack, and he got involved in that, and from that aspect of it. When I moved here at the age of 14, that's when I came across Kendall Davis. He's out of Foxhill, and after getting involved with him, that's when I became a part of the Superstar Rockers, and it's been that way
Okay.
since.
So you started with the Saxons a little, and then you moved to Grand
Well,
Bahama.
actually, it was only like about a year.
It's a quick movie,
And
yeah.
it wasn't where I was deeply involved. It was
Okay.
just an interest. 13 years, at that time, your parents got to know where you are at all times. So
Right.
going around after school, he would drop us home and he'll stop by the shack, and the interest came from there, the vibrant
Okay.
colors and so forth.
So what instrument did you play or did you participate?
At that time, I just used to play Scotland.
Just like Junkanoo.
Just lay people, just laying people.
I am Junkanoo. All right. All right.
But what happened was after I came here, and with my interest, the interest that I had, I always remember the first New Year's morning, way back then. The guy, Austin Davis, anyway. His name is Austin.
We'll go by Austin for now.
Yeah.
Can't remember his last name. He did a lead costume, and he told me
Okay.
to just hold the costume. Don't let the costume fall, because around Christmas time, winter time, it is around New Year's time. It is kind of breezy, and he told me to hold the costume and don't let it fall. I was just holding the costume, and when it was time to mount up, they say, let's go, and I was holding the costume, and the guy said, get up underneath this thing, get up underneath this, and he just took
Money, do you like that?
stuck the costume on my shoulder.
Oh,
and I
boy.
rushed the costume, and I was finished the costume. I had a stiff neck.
And how old were you?
Yeah, old enough. Yeah.
A teenager?
No, that's
Yeah.
an experience in Junkanoo.
Actually, I was 14 years old, to be exact.
Okay.
14 years old, but the interest came from there. And after that, the next year, there were a few members who would have left and gone to another group. And Bob Davis, who was the leader at that time,
Okay.
he came into the area of Hawksville, and he got the boys together and from the area, and we had a shack, and it just went on from there.
So where was the
This
shack?
is in Hawksville, in the back of Toonie. I can't remember his.
Mr. Feist Rockers then.
Toonie Camp. Yes,
Okay.
Toonie Camp. He had a home, and then he built a small little piece in the back because there was no shack available, and we brought some, I think, somewhere around about 20 or 25
Right.
kids, little boys, all
Right,
of us,
right,
a
right.
bunch of little boys out of there, and that's where our home base started to grow.
Okay.
But that's where I got my teaching.
And
Okay.
so back then, where did you rush?
Oh, we rushed right here in front of the princess.
Okay. Okay. So that was a route for years.
Yes,
Okay.
we go from the beginning of the princess corner, go down past by to the
Kind of this way.
to the roundabout and back up and come around.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and back around.
Which one is your favorite route anyway? Before we move on to different things.
The post office route, the
Yeah.
Miners Way route.
Out of all the routes we've had, which one you think was the best?
Yeah.
All right, so that's 4 routes. Which
Five.
one? 5. Oh.
What's the next one?
From Castle Bahama.
I don't know about that one.
In Castle Bahama, we start at the circle, Roundfully Circle, and we went down
Okay.
when the roundabout first was made.
Yeah, so that strip.
Yes.
Okay, I remember that one.
Yes.
I remember that one.
We moved from this side and we went there.
Okay.
And then from there, we went
Because I was in
downtown
Crusaders.
by the post office.
Yeah.
And from the post office, they went to that one.
So which one is your favorite one and which one is was the most beneficial to you?
At that time, it wasn't anything to do with beneficial. I think that the rush that we did down by the post office, it had more of a pulsating sound.
What's your favorite one? The acoustics. Okay.
And it gives you
Yeah.
the feel of
Okay.
Nassau Junkanoo.
I miss this one though. right out
See, the
there.
problem with that is you don't. The problem, Junkanoo today cannot take that same.
The roads is too small, huh?
No, the roads wasn't just too small. It was just too much of an open air. So when two groups pass,
Okay.
you got a clash of music.
Okay.
But you know what? That's even if we go back to further Junkanoo, that's what Junkanoo used to be. If you watch the old James Bond movie and they show the Junkanoo scene in Nassau, which it wasn't a real parade, but they acted like it was a parade.
Yes.
Right.
The groups would.
No, there was a real parade.
That's what they said.
Because Junkanoo was at that time, back then, 60s, it was a rush. And when two groups come down, there always was a fight.
Right, but I thought they said they
On
rushed
Shirley
that,
Street.
they rushed
One
that special
set
day
came from-
for the.
What was the
mindset.
sense of it though?
Well, I mean, once again, you have to get back into where Junkanoo came from.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who are in Junkanoos, right before they rush, what do they say? It's wartime. Junkanoo.
That's a
Because
serious
you had
wartime, but true.
Basically, it used to be like the clash of villages. more or
Okay,
less.
yeah.
You got the east side, and then you got the west side, and then you have
The Valley, the Sucks.
the valley. The valley was down
Fox
in
Hill.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
we're talking now.
Right. So that's one of
Talking about different communities, and it wasn't a real fight, but it was just a clash of the groups.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was a fight. Sometimes there used to be fights.
I mean, if we think about what Junkanoo is commemorated and
Right.
who John Canoe really is, he was the king of the warriors. And so we're commemorating a warrior. So yes, Junkanoo should mimic a battle a little bit. I mean,
Right.
Not that we should have real fights out on the parade.
Right. No, well, we've grown past that point.
Yeah.
And every year that you can see there is a difference from where it started to where it is now. Because, pots and pans, anything back then.
Right.
Now it's more or less, it's more organized than what it really was.
Really
back
different.
then. The evolution in itself could show you where we are from where we came from. And I think that one of the hardest thing that I think that we're having right now is to keep the old tradition
That, yeah.
of Junkanoo, to that point. And I think that that's the fight that we having now with the younger generation.
Right.
And keeping it to the place where, or keeping some of the things indigenous.
Yeah. Still organic.
But I mean, that's a good question to talk about, the evolution of Junkanoo. And people always complain that, oh, Junkanoo's changing too much, we need to keep it what
Right.
it was. But do we really want to keep it?
I think there are certain things.
What do we want to keep? What's worth saving from Junkanoo?
What makes it so unique for us is two things, as far as I'm concerned. One, the color of Junkanoo, and two, the craft of the paper,
The costumes and
the
things.
fringing of the paper.
Okay.
I don't ever think we should ever try and lose that part of Junkanoo. Yes, it evolved. It had evolved because it went from tissue paper to newspaper. From
Right.
It was cloth first. Sponges, tissue paper, newspaper.
Yes.
I mean,
And-
but
and
once we got into the paper, the fringing, yeah, I agree with
I
you.
think that we found something that shouldn't be we shouldn't do away with, because
Right.
that's the uniqueness.
You think it going away though? The fringing.
If we allow the people, if we allow the new generation to have its way, it will be lost, and it would be lost to some other type of culture that would be infiltrated into Junkanoo. And for that, I say we need to engrave in the culture one of the unique things, and that is the fringing.
I feel like I don't feel like it'll go away. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's a whole different.
It won't go away.
A different
if we
ball
don't
game.
Allow it to go away, because if
Right.
we allow people
To just
to
do something quick.
you would see it fade away.
Yeah.
You would see it fade away. I tell you, there's some materials that are now into the culture that would, if you look at it, you wouldn't think it's it's you would think that it is crepe paper.
Right.
But if we keep it, but if you keep that crepe paper, fringe paper, ingrained into the culture or into the rules of the parade, it should not go away.
Well, also, even the fringing has changed because I remember I used to do a lot of fringing when I was younger, and it's so different from what I see today because now everyone wants that really, really fine fringe.
Because it goes down to what the artisan is trying to portray, and everybody wants that photo.
But I think one of my favorite pieces last Junkanoo Parade, and it wasn't with you guys, sorry. But and it was with the swingers actually, and it was because most of the costume used the older style of fringe. It was their lead piece with the tractor.
To each his own.
I didn't like the colors of it.
To each his own.
But I liked the fringe of it, and that was my favorite piece because of the fringe.
To each his own.
Yeah. No, I mean everybody.
I like to see a nice fringe costume though.
But I mean, it was a really.
But I like a variety.
Costume. I wish it had more color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I say, color.
The color.
Color and fringing, cutting. The actual cutting of the paper, individual.
Clip.
Not just straight across.
Right.
And so forth and so forth.
Because you go in a shack today, and this is probably a sad part about Junkanoo. You have some young people in there, but I notice it's mostly the older Junkanoo members who are fringing.
Yeah,
Right.
because nobody, the younger people, they believe that, the microwave style of living. They put it in the microwave and heat it up. Everybody want to do it quick. Whoop. No, you can't do it. You can't.
I mean, what I did the other day, I let them sit down and show me different styles. Now, I ain't say I'm gonna go behind them for everything because I see some stuff. I say, now listen, I need my fingers and my skin. And I see you getting a little close, even though they'll show you like, or you put the clothespin there, or you put your hand there. I saw the techniques, but I think what's happening is the older generation and the younger generation have to come to terms with the fact that if the older generation don't pass down their legacy, and if the newer generation don't learn the legacy, we wouldn't have a culture.
Time is changing. You can get the same result differently from what you was getting it back then. Times are changing. Right now, the guy could turn the machine on and just pull the paper.
I like the old way.
I like the old.
Because I like the stories from the shack. So as a young person, when I go to the shack, that's for me to learn different backgrounds, different people. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a culture. I don't think it's just we just shooting.
That's the reason why we come together.
Right. So y'all ain't let me in y'all shack. Y'all ain't let me in y'all shack then. To show me the culture.
When you wear the band, when you come into the band, you all right. You don't have the band.
That's all right, but I see y'all on the road.
Gatekeeper, but make sure you have a band on, and once you have the band on, then you'll be.
It's all neutral.
Yeah, but I mean, one of the things for us, so you talked about you like some of the old style. You have to admit, Junkanoo is a part of your blood.
Right.
Junkanoo is so deep in your family.
Right.
I mean, you can't help but like Junkanoo. And
you say it's deep in the family?
Oh, yeah.
Junkanoo deep in the family?
Yeah.
Oh, I beat them too. No, don't worry. I put it on him too. I put it on him
Hold on, man. Hold on.
Put it on him too.
Listen, I am.
So, I mean, like for me, I grew up in Junkanoo. I could walk. I was in Junkanoo.
That's a good thing.
My godfather he was a Valley boy. But before we could rush into Valley Boy, we had to rush with the pigs.
Yeah.
And I had some of the most fun rushing with the pigs. And you know when we did our costumes rushing for the pigs? The night before Junkanoo. That's when you pasted your costume.
Yeah.
But I had so much fun doing that. And
It's a lot of fun. Junkanoo in itself is a lot of fun, and it just takes you to be involved.
Right.
Once you become involved, and it goes right back to the old adage, Junkanoo is a spirit. It's
I'm going to make a proclamation right now that I think Maravilla rum should be the official rum of Junkanoo. I mean,
All right.
As a matter of fact, I think that
hold on.
Yeah, we
Mission on this
at the end.
podcast that we take a shot at the end.
We got
and
you.
Don't worry, just so you know, you're going to lead the shot.
like I say, Junkanoo is a spirit.
Yeah.
And it's a spirit that runs deep within your veins, and you can't take it out. If you get a visitor and have him to experience Junkanoo, he cannot explain that experience because it's in him. You have to be a part of it. You have to be there. That spirit is captivating. As the time progresses, as the time comes closer to the parade, intoxication takes over.
Oh yeah, we're in Junkanoo season.
No. Oh
We are
boy.
intoxicated.
Listen, the weather changing.
We're not intoxicated. We're
The
not
weather done
intoxicated at all
changing.
right now.
Don't get Jeff.
We just getting there. A little tipsy. But as it gets to the time,
Right.
closer to the parade, it's captivating. It's a new spirit that comes over you at the end.
Spirit of Junkanoo. If you're watching this podcast, and you probably watched the beginning, and right before we start, we have the words "the Spirit of Junkanoo" comes up on the screen. You haven't even seen that yet, so it just shows.
Well, you mean the spirit? Oh, okay.
No, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that.
Before we start each episode,
Yeah.
the Spirit of Junkanoo.
Okay.
It's something we put there. The podcast is called In the Shack because we filmed them in the shack, except for today we're outside the shack. But
As a matter of fact, you're in the shop.
that's true because you guys do work
This is
outside.
our foyer. Before you come in without a band.
Oh God.
But you guys do a lot of work out in this foyer.
Oh, most definitely because of the humidity inside.
We'll also always plug our documentary in this podcast. So I've done a lot of interviews with members of the Rockers outside here in the foyer while they're working. So we're still in the shack. So you haven't been completely excluded.
I telling you, man.
You just
Yeah.
Members only.
and neutral supporters like me.
Y'all gonna be all right. But this is what I want to know. When you talk about shack life as a former leader, I know you said you're a co-leader. What characteristics? Okay, former leader. You can edit that one. What characteristics do you look forward to when it comes to your group members being in the shack? What's the conduct? Looking like in the shack?
First of all, there's a spirit of family.
Okay.
That resonate throughout the whole entire group, and that family look out for one another. However one could help one another, could help the other one. That's what we do. Friends.
Right.
It's big. It has to be because you can't work together
And be
if
at
you're not
odds.
on the same.
Yeah.
If you're not on the same plane.
So if you were to tell your sponsors right now what it is that you would need in your shack, because I think one of the biggest conversations we've been having with the podcast so far was, what does the shack need? You know what I mean? I think a lot of people on the outside think that the shack is just a place, or a lot of times you use abandoned buildings, things like that. What makes your shack a shack? What would be needed if you were to tell your sponsors right now?
I think the first thing, if I was able to sit with a real a potential sponsor that would really sponsor the Superstar Rockers, the first request I would have is for us to have our own.
You want shack?
Our own, not shack, our own property,
Oh,
where we can do and make it a multi-purpose
okay.
place that we can work from.
Right.
That in itself speaks volume for where a group would be.
Right.
In terms of, you know how it is when you have your own,
Right.
instead of just being there or just squatting, because literally that's all we're doing right now.
So when you talk about
And
multi-purpose
it would change the perspective
of Junkanoo.
from the community as to what the group really represents.
Right. So when you talk about multi-purpose, you're talking about a game changer, because the history of shacks in the Bahamas is more so, okay, we get a building, we try to, hold on to it. But you're saying that you want to do more. You want to be more, and you want to create an image, not just an image, but something in its entirety.
Having
Where
a multi-purpose building, what it does, it takes you and puts you away from. You have the opportunity. Let's put it like that.
To do
you have
more.
the opportunity to do more, invest
Right.
more, to
be
bring
more.
in more.
Yeah.
to your group. And what you can do with that, you could.
you could do what you want to do.
You could find ways
Right.
in making money from that.
Yes. Yes. I know sponsorship is a big culture when it comes to Junkanoo, but I'm obviously seeing that Freeport, all of the groups, they want something different. Not just, you'd always want the sponsors, but you want to be able to obtain your own. Walk into ownership.
This is just my personal view about where a group should be, and I've seen it happen over the years. That just conversing through Nassau, that if you own your own building, you set yourself to a place different from just the ordinary.
Right.
You become a business. The business then began to make more money for your group. People will see you different
Right.
from you, or see the group different from the way how they would look at it, because the old but before time they say only the drunkards and this and that.
We just had this conversation on every last podcast. Yeah. A Junkanoo, right.
Or that's where it started from.
A stigma.
Nowadays, if you set yourself where you can organize your shop different from the way how you're used to,
right,
you bring a different perspective to who you are and what it could be.
So now, potential sponsors out there listening to this podcast, you heard me mention that Maravilla Rum is a sponsor of the Superstar Rockers, but they need more.
Yes.
Right.
All the groups need more.
Yes, there is that building. Yes, there is that place where you can gather. And at the end of the day, what we look for most of all from the wider community is the parade. The parade in itself is a totally different kind of sponsor.
Right. Than the upkeep. Yeah.
See? It's a different kind of sponsor. And so therefore you would see it different. You see Junkanoo different.
Right.
You look at it, it would then become more or less like a business. And having a business is very much important when you see it comes down to trying to create your own, or having the opportunity or demonstrate that you can not be self-sufficient, but you can do a lot for yourself.
Right.
I think it's a common theme, and it has been a common theme on this podcast when we've interviewed leaders from the groups. And I know the community will think, oh, Junkanoo people are just crying for money. They spend their money on themselves.
Right.
If you actually see the amount of work
Where the money going?
that's put into Junkanoo, the amount of material that they have to buy. You look at these finished pieces, you only see the crepe paper, but behind that crepe paper is cardboard. In that cardboard is some metal. On that cardboard is paint, contact, glue, sequences, feathers. It goes on, and these are expensive.
And
That's just the surface.
You're looking at the raw material.
I'm not
And
even talking about time.
The most important part about the whole aspect of Junkanoo is time.
Time is money.
And volunteer work. Yeah.
Right now, there's a lot of volunteer work.
Time.
So if you're watching this podcast and you're a fan of Junkanoo and you're a fan of
Hey, the Superstar Rockers are always there for you. You got more to offer than what you would expect.
Right.
Much, much more. Given the time, given the resources, you'll be surprised to see what the Superstar Rockers do. And that's our aim and our goal, to bring the most out of every one of us in the group.
Wow. I think that's a perfect way to wrap up this podcast.
I think so.
So, when you were trying to get into the spirits a little bit
Hey, it's the spirit. Let the spirit reign. Let the spirit reign.
earlier, we have a tradition on this podcast that we take a shot of the Maravilla rum at the end of the podcast, and our guest leads us in a toast. So, for the shots.
I think I'm getting real shots this time.
Yeah, I'm not giving Varsity half shots anymore. She's a co-host. Let's have a full shot. Can you pass the shot glasses down? And one more, please. It's right
Sorry.
in front of the other spirit. Big enough shot for you there?
This one look clear.
So
I think
once
my
again, this podcast is sponsored by Maravilla Rum.
die.
Let me see if I could remember this one. Which is some ships are wooden ships. And those ships may sink. Some ships are friendships. To those ships, we drink.
Hey, why we into the real ones? You want to do that, Danny, at the next one?